All right, welcome to the video, everybody. So this video is basically just going to cover some free agents and where they might potentially land. So let's get into it. All right, so first we have Kirk Cousins, and I'm projecting Kirk Cousins to go to the San Francisco 49ers, and here's why. So, you guys, if you've looked at the news lately, you've probably noticed that Colin Kaepernick has decided to opt out of his contract, and that means that the 49ers absolutely need some sort of quarterback to come in. And the great thing is, at this point in time, they have the second most cap space available out of all teams. So I see them basically making a big play for Kirk Cousins. He's probably your best option here at this point. And he's not a bad quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but I just don't see him, I just don't see the Redskins being able to continuously franchise him over and over and over. And I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, well, what about Cleveland? They need a quarterback, and they've got more money than the Niners. And to that I say, Kirk Cousins does not want to go get destroyed by getting sacked repeatedly in Cleveland. If anybody's been watching Cleveland's quarterback situation, they know it's plagued with injuries. So I doubt he really wants to experience that. All right, and now onward. So we have Chandler Jones. All right, Chandler Jones, guys. I'm going to go ahead and project him as being re-signed by the Cardinals. I don't see him going anywhere. Pretty much they gave up a decent amount for him already, so why would you get rid of somebody that you gave all that up for? He had a pretty decent season. He's finished with 11 sacks, 3 passes defended, and he didn't miss any games. He started all the games that he was in, so not a bad season at all. But I just don't see the Cardinals, giving up on him after they gave that draft pick and the trade and everything for him. It just doesn't make sense. So. All right, next we have Le'Veon Bell. All right, this is obvious, guys. Steelers are not going to lose Le'Veon Bell. He's one of the top running backs last year, or this year, I should say. And I see him just being re-signed. He's young. He's only 25 years old, so the Steelers would be stupid to let him go. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. He's pretty much the best thing that's happened to them in a long time as far as the running game is concerned. So I see him staying here with the Steelers. Now we have the Eric Berry. Okay, so Eric Berry. Also see Eric Berry re-signing with the Chiefs, and here's why. I know a lot of people are like, well, there's a lot of teams out there. What about like the Titans or like the Browns? Somebody who needs like a playmaker, right, in the secondary. To that I say that Eric Berry, when he had his cancer issue, and the team was very loyal to him. They stuck with him, and I feel like he's gonna do the loyal thing. Maybe even take a pay cut to stay with him. Who knows? But basically, I see him getting, I see him staying in a Chiefs uniform next year. They may let Dontari Poe walk because it's kind of coming down to how many people can you buy, essentially. So it is what it is, and the Chiefs would be dumb to let him walk if they had a chance to keep him. So next we have AJ Boye. You guys probably know he's the cornerback out of Houston. I have him going to the Titans. They have the third most cap, space available. They have a huge need at corner, and AJ fits all the needs that John Robinson is looking for in a corner. And on top of it, they would be stealing him away from a division rival. So I see them going in on him as much as they can, and just trying to take him away from Houston, really deal him a little bit of a dent or a little bit of damage there. Next we have Quan Short. I have him going to the Falcons. The Falcons have an aging defensive tackle situation. Short's not super young or anything. He's 28, but it's definitely going to be an upgrade if the Falcons can get him. And maybe it'll pretty much give them what they need. I don't know if they'll lose. The Super Bowl is tomorrow as I'm filming this, but if they lose it, maybe that's all they need, that extra push. So I have him going to them. to replace that interior defensive line, kind of get a little bit of youth involved, or youthness, I should say, considering he's not really young. But next we have Alshon Jeffrey. I also have Alshon Jeffrey going to the Titans. They're pretty much shelling up. Marcus Mariota needs a number one receiver over there in Tennessee. And Alshon has an opportunity here to not only make a lot of money, but get on a team that potentially could be going to the playoffs next year. I can pretty much guarantee you, out of the top three teams with the cap space, the Titans probably are your most desirable team to land on, especially with all the changes they've been making. They have a clear need for wide receiver number one. That would be Alshon Jeffrey if he came in. And they also have, a nice little group of players that really almost pulled off the playoff victory, like almost got in the playoffs last year by beating Houston. That loss to Jacksonville really hurt him, but I see big things coming from him. So his best chances at going into the postseason are going to be with them, and also making money at the same time. Next, we have Terrelle Pryor. So Terrelle Pryor, I have him sticking with the Browns. He had his breakout year. He had a pretty good season here. It is one season, so I see the Browns paying him a good amount of money, and then just watching him and seeing if it was a fluke or if he's going to continue to do what he just did this season. Because if he has another 1,000-yard receiving season, I think it's pretty safe to say that he deserves a long-term contract, lucrative long-term contract, I should say. But basically, that I see Cleveland doing that, just re-signing him, maybe even franchising him. Who knows? Next, we have Deshaun Jackson. Now, I have Deshaun Jackson returning to the Eagles. He's getting kind of old. Maybe he just wants to wind it down where he was last at. Carson Wentz needs some receiving weapons. I mean, plain and simple, he needs help. He's a young quarterback. You can't just throw him out there without anybody. And Deshaun Jackson could be that guy, or at least a stopgap. Maybe they'll draft a wide receiver or something, but he could be a stopgap in the meantime, and really give Carson Wentz someone he can throw to and he can develop with, at least, for the time being. So I see him going to the Eagles. And lastly here, I have Tremaine Johnson going to the Browns, and here's why. Aside from the fact that they have just a ton of money, and I see it like this. If Joe Hayden can get healthy and he could start playing, how we expect Joe Hayden to play, then I see him paired up with Tremaine Johnson as being one of the better cornerback combinations in the NFL at that point. And that would really, really step up Cleveland as a huge threat, especially on defense. They can fix their line, and then you got these elite corners just shutting people down on both sides of the field. I would love to see that, actually. That'd be kind of interesting. So, but that's what I have here. If you guys have any questions or comments, or just other opinions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I'm always open to hearing, your guys' opinions. So let me know what you guys think of this, or maybe what you would do differently. And as always, have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you aren't doing that already. Take care.